Yo, what is up guys, Godrekton here, today bringing you another VOD review, which is a little bit different because this game, I went up against a Samira player. Sometimes when you're playing like League, you will run into matchups like this where you don't really know what to expect, and a lot of this game was kind of me testing the waters, and I guess like I kind of figured out like also how to play against it. I've only played against Samira twice, but to be honest, it's not a hard matchup. But I am going to like kind of explain like how to play into matchups that you're not exactly familiar with, as I think that is a important skill to take away from this video too, that I want to try and teach. Because sometimes when you are playing your one trick, you are going to run into things that you just have no idea what to do. And things will kind of like take you off guard, and you probably won't be exactly ready for certain situations. So hopefully this game we can also break down that. And I also had, you could just say like a carry game. It wasn't the hardest game, but it certainly wasn't easy either. And I had to really be on my game to carry this because the enemy team does scale pretty well into the game. But anyways, these are my runes. I took Second Wind, Unflinching, and Legend Tenacity here. These runes are usually just pretty goated, I would say. Like, you can take these runes into any matchup, and I mean, you could swap out Second Wind for bone plating into certain things, like melee matchups or things that try to burst you. But other than that, Second Wind, really good. But to begin this game in this VOD, my team does like this weird invade, which I have no idea why. But it also does force Samira to end up walking down with her team. And she does get a ward, meaning that she will get level 2 before me. But she is late to lane, so the first thing I'm going to do, so you could do this into anything really. So if you know your junglers, the enemy jungle is going to start a red buff, or blue buff even here, you can do something called pulling the wave, which is a wave management technique which allows you to pull the wave in this bush, which then allows for the minion wave to meet here. And because it meets here, it actually like aggroes the first minion instantly. And the rebound wave that comes like after the first wave will end up pushing towards your side, meaning that you can get like an early gank and keep the wave in a really uncomfortable position for the enemy. So they have to like be very careful on how to play in this situation. And they can't exactly go aggro, but a lot of people will try and be aggro with it, and that's what gets them in these bad situations where they get punished. So I do see that Graves is bot side right now, so I know Samira is just not going to start here. She is going to walk up. From this, she doesn't miss any minions, but if it was another game, pulling the wave here would make her at least miss one CS. Like, she'd probably like miss at least one if she did like start here, potentially. Maybe it was like a different jungler, because Graves does like clear camps pretty fast. But just keep this in mind that you can use this tool to like get, like to deny someone's level 2. And then as soon as you hit level 2, you can just rush in and like go for a kill. If the matchup's like correct for it. So what I do know about Samira is that she has very strong damage close range. Like, what separates her from a lot of ADCs and why she's like pretty strong bot lane, well, it depends on like what she's working with as a support. But she's pretty strong because like when she goes close quarters or like just very close scenarios, she does a lot of damage. And a lot of range champions want to keep like back. They want to use like their maximum range. Samira can play like kind of long range or like mid range, but she does want to get close range. Like, she'll have a aggressive support like a Nautilus, Leona, that initiate, she ease in, auto Qs, and it does a lot of damage. So Samira's whole game plan, I think, for a melee matchup is kind of to abuse that. With Renekton, however, she doesn't really do well in this scenario because Renekton is also very good close range. And when you do play against ranged top laners like a Vayne, Quinn, every time you engage on them, they want to disengage, like their life depends on it. They need to get out. So they will try and use their ease, like anything that can like disarm Renekton and put him back at bay. But Samira can't exactly do that, so she's very limited as soon as we get level 3, and basically that's kind of what we want to play for here. Just sit back, minimize damage. I do have longsword free as well. I feel like I can snowball this matchup pretty hard. knowing that there isn't really much of a threat in this matchup for me. So having longsword free here is very good if I want to snowball, which is my game plan. And she's level 2 before me, so I want to just like something outside of the range, like we usually talk about. So imagine like her range is like here. I want to step out of it, play off Q. There'd just be enough in XP range. I do walk a bit too far back here. I don't know why I do that. I actually miss a minion. I was streaming at the time, so maybe I was just like doing something relating to my stream. I think I was. I think I had to ban like a bot in my chat. Because sometimes you have these bots that like just spam like these spam links, and I think that's what I was doing here. So there's a giant wave here. I don't want to fight in this. I just want to like secure what I can. I'm standing far back enough so I don't take enough damage. On the level 3, I go in. Power W. I couldn't skill it right away. I think my hands are cold too. It's very cold in England recently, and I was playing like... This is like my 8th game in the day, so... The gameplay is also not the cleanest. But I thought it was good enough to like do a review. Yeah, I was playing a little bit shaky here at the beginning of the game, but... Just doing a little short trade here, just trying to like test the waters to see what she has. Her cooldowns are very long too. So my next E, when it comes up, will be able to like ensure the kill. Her W does nothing in this lane, but it does like apply some damage and gets her to her ult a lot faster. So just keep that in mind too. She's level 6. Now, Graves is most likely topside here, so being that I wasn't really tracking the map, I do go for a fight now. And to the dismay of that, like, Graves was here. Like, he just did the lane gank, and I end up getting punished for it, but I do go 1-for-1, and they don't get as much XP and gold that I do, because I secured the kill solo. So it's not the end of the world. I do miss a few minions off it. But ultimately, I come out more on top, I feel like. I mean, item for item, we're pretty similar here. But the Dirk will give me like a lot more close-up damage. And Samira can't really contest with my damage if she goes in my range. So, meanwhile, like, there's a lot of stuff going on the map. All I need to do is, like, not die and just kind of play with my Fury. She has bone playing, which was pretty problematic in this matchup. So, a lot of the time, like, I'm comboing. I'm trying to get rid of that first before I do any, like, big trades. So, here I proc bone playing. She had a good either. Now I'm slow pushing the wave. Just kind of like looking at the map, seeing what's going on. Building my Fury as well. If she steps close enough, I can double dash and then look for an all-in. That's kind of like what I'm looking for too. Like if she comes too close, I can double dash on top of her. Land in powered E, shred at least like 10 armor or I think 10 or 8. I'm level 1 E. At this armor range. And then look for an empowered W as well. It just nukes anyone. So I'll see that Graves is around mid. I am going to hit level 6 very soon. So that can set up the dive here too. But I do have to keep note that her bone plating's on. So I want to get rid of it now. Do that trade. It's not the cleanest thing, but it doesn't need to be. As long as I get rid of bone plating, that's completely fine. So I'm trying to shove the wave in here. No one's on the map, so I have to be very careful. So right now, I figured that maybe someone's going to come, and I'm just going to like go for the dive here. Q, auto E, get out. Now Graves is here, so I had a pretty lucky timing here to abuse the dive. Now, here is a mistake I made. Now, I have two options. I can back on a slow push to where I walk back in the lane and my wave is going to be here. or I can shove in. And shoving in means I get a bit of extra gold and I can deny that team of some extra CS and gold. However, we just saw that Graves was topside, and Fizz is currently not on the map, and neither is their Lulu. So all these factors combined, I could push in here and they could all like run from river. Another factor is, if I do try and shove this, the jungler could come, farm it up. So that's like free golden XP to someone that's already 3-0. He could even pull the wave. So Samira comes back to a freeze. And then I'm just completely messed up. Like, there's a lot of things that can actually put me behind here if I'm like autopiloting the situation. And what I actually do here is I shove in the wave. And this is actually what went wrong here. So I shove in the wave. I come back. Graves was already waiting here. I think he was recalling, but then he saw that I did this. So he does exactly what I kind of feared, which was he pulls the wave now and creates a freeze for his top laner to get back in the game. And the CS difference isn't that big to begin with, so it's only going to stack in her favor, and I can be punished heavily from this. So being that I'm in a predicament now and I can't back, I have to actually fight this off. So I walk in, try and bait a fight. I don't have E here, but I am baiting towards the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix comes, I W and Q, and we secure the kill. At this moment, he helps me to shove. Really good of him. Really good jungle play. But the next problem was that Samira tries to actually freeze us again. And Kha'Zix, in my opinion, should have been with me here, just to threaten the fact that she can't freeze. Because if she does pull the wave while we're us two are here, we just go for the kill. Like, it's free. But Kha'Zix, I try and ping him to come back, but it's too late. Kha'Zix wants to do his own thing. So while I'm in a bad position, like, I'm sitting on 1,600 gold, I can't, in my head, I just can't back. I could back, and Samira would have no sustain. Like, she has a Vamp Scepter, but with it being nerfed this patch, it's really not going to do a lot, and her losing all this health just to freeze a minion wave, which was this big, is a lot more detrimental for her than it is for me. But I egoed the situation. I didn't want to give her any advantage, so what I end up doing is I stay, and to my own surprise, you could say as well, and like problems, she ends up like bursting me down, but luckily I do a fast trade here, and we end up going 1-for-1, and I fix the wave. So was that worth? Debatable, because I break the freeze. The wave is slow pushing towards my side, which against a ranged champion is huge for me. It allows me to buy Prowler's Claw too. Overall, I'm going to say worth. But in other situations, maybe it's not so worth. But here, definitely pretty good. Because now Samira can't even play the game. So while it's not the best thing to do, we end up like having a silver lining. And to get our Prowler's Claw here kind of just makes the situation whatever. And Samira doesn't even get to farm to begin with. So we actually take a big W on this one. Although my farm could be way better. But here's what we want to do next. So we have Prowler's Claw. Our objective is basically to keep the wave on our side. Because if Samira overextends, she gets one shot on demand and can't do anything. But before I want a one shot, I do want to make sure that her bone plating's cut off. Because I could do all my damage on bone plating. And then she would survive. At least right now, maybe. Without Fury. Just has Flash, which can save her from the all-in. So I waste my active for Flash, which is still kind of worth, but ideally, I want to just get rid of bone playing, then look for a one-shot, and I'm guaranteed to get that. So right now, I do go in, rock the bone plating. I try and get in Prowler's Claw range here, but I just wasn't in range. It's a little bit unlucky. But it's not the end of the world. I pull the wave back. I'm going to start to trim the minions. Trimming means you, like, kill a minion at a time. Make sure you have, like, 4 casters remaining, which is preferable. At least 4 minions. But you want 4 caster creeps because they work a lot better. And then we just eviscerate the Samira too. So let me go back to just to explain that. So as I'm trimming the minions too, it ensures me that I don't miss, like, any minions that run into my tower. Because the caster minion's going to stay at range attacking while the the melee minions just run in, so clearing these also helps me like not lose too much CS. And the wave kind of slows down on pushing. But here what I end up doing is I hit the minion, then I E off it as she's walking into me. Because right now, if we go back just to break this down too. Look how she's playing. She's playing super far back. And all I'm doing is, my mind, like to her, my mind is just set on attacking minions. So if I play from her perspective, right now it's like, okay, Renekton's just following minions. I can maybe go up a little bit as he's hitting the minion. So I'm trying to mask my own movements here. So hitting the minion means like, oh, that's what my mind's focused on. But what I'm actually trying to do is, I'm trying to hide that I want to all in. So I hit the minion, then I dash as she's walking forward. She doesn't suspect this coming. Double dash, land in powered E, Prowler's Claw, WRQ, and just like that, clean one shot. She can't really do anything. I could have frozen minion wave here too and recalled, but for some reason I wasn't really set on that. And I wanted to just get tower with Kha'Zix. Which is fine, but maybe it's a little bit too early for my liking. Like in other games, I don't think I'd take tower this early. Like at least maybe 13-minute mark. Here I try and like do something, but I wouldn't say it was the best thing to do, but we end up just killing Samira, who's clearly tilted at this point. We see Fizz is coming up, so I'm just going to walk away. I don't really want to fight this. I'm sitting on way too much gold now. 2k gold. We got 2k gold in the span of like 2 minutes, I would say. So at this stage, my back, I get my steel-plated... Am I saying it the right thing? Plated steel caps, there we go. I get these because their team is predominantly auto-attack based and just heavy AD. It also allows me to run down like anyone that's ranged as well, having that additional rune speed right now. Get a pickaxe towards my Prowler's Claw, and also buy Red Trinket, which allows me to abuse Fog of War. Which, as an assassin, like playing an assassin playstyle or champion, you need to be doing this if you want to get the most out of your champion. Because playing in this just always creates like an element of surprise. That the enemies can't just walk in. Like if I'm here, let's say there's like a ward here. I could walk in, Red Trinket, clear it, and then the map's just completely dark. So the enemies have to be careful where they're stepping. Like, I can come from anywhere. I can come to mid. I can run in their jungle, hide here. There's so much I can do in Fog of War as an assassin. And this is kind of like how you play full AD Renekton overall. You're just playing in Fog of War, waiting for the right moments to go in. And then you just one-shot someone. And with Renekton having some of the highest combo damage in the game, with what he can do, like, it's just really deadly. So the enemies have to be very careful with how I'm playing with this. But what am I doing right now? What is my objective? So there's quite a few things I could do. I could roam bot lane. I could even go mid here too with Kha'Zix, which is maybe something I should have done because Fizz will not be able to escape with Silas also roaming up. Or I can just go back top lane, try and create some pressure, and like allow for things to happen on the map. Here's an example of using Red Trinket too. Clear the vision there, so Samira has to play it extra safe. I could freeze this again, but I think all that was on my mind was kind of just to keep pushing in and then roam into the enemy jungle to find if there's any camps. At the time, I didn't know if there was any camps up. On the replay mode, it just shows that they're all taken. Yeah, shoving in here means I can look for a fight too. We just kill Vayne on the map. We do see Graves is here. This gives me the green light to go in. This time, I don't need to care about bone plating. I'm so fed to the point where I'll just one-shot. So, Prowler R, EQ auto attack, animation cancel combo, and Samira gets one-shot. I was scared where Fizz was because I didn't know where he was. He didn't show mid lane or bot. So my only idea is that he recalled just to run top lane, and I was correct here. Like the last video, I did try to teach you guys about not being greedy, because making mistakes like that is very giant, and for their team that scales pretty decently. I don't want to be giving any gold to them. And I learned my lesson a lot this game. You can see me playing way more safe and calculated. And to my benefit, I'm not giving away gold. I'm maintaining a steady snowball, and it's just a lot more beneficial to think about, like, I'm not the reason for losing the game. So I do ping my team that Fizz is coming. In this time, all I can really do is I will just push mid lane, while my team's just fighting out bot. Things aren't really going so well here, but we do go 1 for 2 so far. Kha'Zix is low. I do see this. I push in the wave, so the enemies miss some golden XP, so they get punished in a way. And I'm going to run straight here. So this is what it looks like right now for me. Fog of War, Kha'Zix is low, Fizz is like right here. So what I end up doing is red trinket to see exactly where the person is. I stay on the other side of the wall. He comes, I auto W, auto, and then he just jumps away. And we save the Kha'Zix. Always important to look at the map and help your teammates. In a game where we need to like keep our gold value and not like give bounties, like you have to help your team in situations like that. Like I don't lose anything for that either. Like maybe a plating, but who cares, right? My teammate matters more here. Speaking of platings, we get couple platings. Now I want to recall, but then in my head, actually that's another thing too I want to talk about. So I do see that Samira's pushing the whole time, and I did ping my team to go here. So Lucian walks up here. I don't need to reset then, or like run over the top lane. So our tempo on the map is very good here. I can stay mid lane, push out the minion waves, get extra platings, and my team can respond by sending the Lucian and Kha'Zix to top here and lead to killing the Samira. In this time as well, because there is some action here, I am going to push mid, so no one really responds to the fight here. Like if someone was closer, like here, Fizz wouldn't be able to make it there in time or respond, because I'm shoving in another wave and collecting more gold. So in high reload, the players are most likely going to go defend the towers, because that's what matters more. In low elo, maybe they just rush here and then nothing happens. So you have to be like very aware on like what matters more here. As a player, your tower matters way more, because taking this tower means my team has access to your whole jungle. We can shove in waves, and like we just have a lot more map like dominance, and that's why towers matter a lot more here instead of roaming to help your teammates. So if you are like the player that does that, just always like factor your towers first, because that's ultimately what matters. Obviously, it depends on context. Samira is inting pretty heavily, but even then, I don't think it's ever worth to go help your teammate here. But I shove in another wave. More golden XP is being lost by the second. Fizz roams bot here. And okay, they actually do get a kill here. I forgot. So on my back, I'm going to like towards Blair Rune King. That's what I'm building. Next, I'm rushing towards bot lane because Dragon's up, and I see that my team's overextended. One bad thing you could say about this push in the mid lane is that because I didn't back in time to go like, or because I took longer to push in, that means Graves had like more time to do Dragon, when I could have like backed here initially and then ran towards like this side of the map and prevented my teammates from potentially dying, like the Silas and Yumi. And I could have prevented Dragon too. Like, that's another way you can look at things as well. So maybe that's something I shouldn't have done, but ends up not being the worst thing. It's something to think about with the end of the day. Because League is all theory based. So what I'm presenting here is like how I could play differently and what that potentially could mean as well. So your actions matter a lot. Because there I could have maybe stopped the dragon from being taken. And I could have been on the map a lot quicker. So my tempo was probably not as good here. And in a game where dragons matter a lot, I think I did make a mistake pushing in another wave, personally. But I roam here, flash on the Vayne, misclick a little bit, so I have to W the Vayne. Graves ends up surviving, and I'm just going to shove in the wave now. That's all I can really do. I didn't expect this by this wave clear. He walks back into me, I auto Q, and we pick up a free kill. I mean, I'll take it. A lot of people underestimate Prowler's Claw and Renekton. That's another reason why I like the playstyle so much. Because no one is ready for the damage. Here's another question. Now, if my objective is not to give gold to the enemy, do I A, take the tower in hopes that no one comes, or B, do I recall and let the minions just take the tower? Well, what I actually do to fix my own bad habit of greeting, I just tell myself, no, I don't know where anyone is on the map. 3 people are missing. People can come from anywhere. They can come from the river. They could come from here. Down here. Up there, I mean. And with that, I just get my recall. And as I expected, Vayne comes down. We still get the tower. I'm really not missing anything. Like, if I did greed for this, I have no way of escaping. Because Vayne will maybe ult and run me down. And she has summoners too. I don't think I can outplay that. Because everything's on cooldown right now. So it was always best for me just to recall there. There's just no reason to stay. But we pick up Lair Ruin King. My team's having some success mid lane. Really good. Kha'Zix is overextending a little bit. This is where things start taking a little bit of a turn for the worse. Because Vayne ends up picking up some kills. Or, well, yeah, she does. She picks up like a triple kill. Never mind, it's a double kill. In this time too, I have to be ready for this. As a top laner, you always have to be looking at the map. Or even as a player, just in general. So I know as a fight's breaking out, and in fears that my team could potentially lose it, I'm going to just sprint up there. Straight up. Because I come here too, I'm cutting off Vayne's chances of escaping, but she's dead no matter what here. But still, in another game where someone has more health, I come in and I just pick up the kill. Next, Samira tries to ult. I end up saving the Silas, and just like that, my roam was pretty successful there. Pushing the wave, deny some gold XP. I could take Herald here, but I'm never really a fan of taking Herald because it takes so much time, and I'd rather my team comes. But maybe I should do that more often, like just taking Rift Herald there. It's also another way an enemy can get a bounty as well, so taking this just nullifies any extra gold the enemy can get. I should be top right now. I don't know why I walked here. I should be top because there's nowhere else to be. Like, Silas is already pushing bot. Lucian's mid. Kha'Zix is top lane, but he only came top to pick off the Vayne. All that golden XP could have been for me. Yeah, right now, like, our lane assignments are just very weird. Samira's, like, farming for free, and I'm just kind of standing around. I don't know what I was thinking here. I wanted to assist my team as well. I think that was, like, another reason while Samira's bot side. So, because I'm here, I can kind of allow our team to have that confidence to keep pushing, and I can catch the Graves or Lulu that runs down here. And just like that, we do exactly that. One shot the Lulu, very clean. I did want to back here, but Lucian's already recalling, and I'm just gonna go try and pick up the Graves. He just send us on a little goose chase and he takes the tower. Yoink, my kill now. I like how Yumi was just 1v1ing the Samira. Another fight breaking out. I end up coming here. He misjukes my WR combo. Yeah, clean Q cancel. Dragon timers still don't show. But what do I do right now? Because there's a lot of action going on. It's hard to like kind of commentate all this. But a lot of it is just kind of playing for my teammates. Make sure the waves are getting shoved into deny. And try and not give over any bounties. So everyone's dead. My teammates are pushing bot. In that aspect, I'm going to push top here. Shoving the wave. I'm planning to dive Lulu, but I don't know where their teammates are, so I'm not really looking to overcommit. Just want to get some damage to tower, take minions. Because she's walking up like this, I know someone's coming as well. Like, you'll always know someone's coming based on how they're posturing. Like, a level 9 Lulu running away from a Renekton. And, you know, all of a sudden she's running into me. Like, what does that mean? Like, it'll only tell you someone's here. And as we see, Vayne is here. So in this time, we're taking the dragon. Vayne's, like, running after me because of my pressure top lane. Another good reason, like, why that push was good here. But a mistake that I make is I try and fight this. I didn't need to fight this at all. I don't know what Vayne has. And I'm kind of just relying on my Prowler score here. Yeah, Lulu ulted. Just shield bow, and I gave 1,000 gold to a Vayne. 1,000 gold. Okay. Is this bugged again, really? I'm a little bit sick of this. I might have to do... I don't know what to do right now. I guess I have to restart this real quickly. I don't think I'm gonna edit this out because it took me a whole hour yesterday to re-render the whole thing, and then it took like a whole hour to upload on YouTube. I don't know why the replayers keep doing this recently. Now, what time was it at? Oh god, I forgot. Sorry, technical difficulties. Is it here? Yeah, it's here, there we go. Sorry about that. But anyways, like, I gave 1,000 gold to a Vayne. Replay tool wants to keep giving me problems. So it's really stupid. I never had to do that. I already pressured topside. All I had to do was just get out and then I'd be fine. Also, 40 seconds I'm not on the map. Anything could go wrong in that time. You have to always factor is like what you're doing actually worth. You always should like have the an idea that the enemies have everything. Like here, I already had like an idea that okay, maybe they have everything, but I still gambled on it. And it didn't succeed, so never really want to take the risks. And this time my team's going for Baron. I'm rushing up there. Vayne getting more shutdowns. And the enemies already have bounties too. Like, we played this really bad. Like, as a team, we played this really bad, to be honest. It wasn't pretty. So, being a carry in this game, I don't really want to die again. So I have to do everything in my power to, like, play at least safer and more cleaner. And make sure I'm using my lead as well. Just stay on Fizz here. By the way, a tip for Fizz. If he's, like, Zhonyazing like this, you always want to have your A-click, so your attack move ready, with W activated. So, like, when you auto-attack click, you will instantly W him out the Zhonya's or his E. And you'll most likely just get the kill. It always works. Unless the enemy's lucky enough to escape. You should always be doing that if you want to stop anyone from getting out of like a stasis or an invulnerability state. So what's the plan right now? Well, aside from my team wanting to keep coin flipping fights, I'm just gonna push bot lane. Like, no one can 1v1 me. I do see that Kha'Zix is, like, my whole team's actually just getting kills here. So instead of recalling, I'm going to keep pushing. There is a Fizz. Because I'm staying here and pushing in the minion waves, that means Fizz can't roam either. So in this time, we get a mid tower. I am debating if I should go in, but I'm just playing it safe. I don't want to mess around. And my team wants to go for Baron. So I keep him here. Fizz can't roam. And then I start roaming up. Play when jungle camp's on the way. And that's a good example of, like, using your presence on the map. Because I'm, like, keeping someone here. No one can, like, really contest our Baron call. Next, we pick up the Death Stance. Death Stance, excellent item here. The enemies are full AD, and because they have like a lot of burst, it also helps me tank up that damage a little bit more in the fights. So I'm practically unkillable, almost. Even on like every kill I'm healing 343 health, which is huge if no healing reduction is applied onto me. I also bought Last Whisper here for Sherelda's because I like the haste, and I like the fact that if I ult, my Sherelda's perma slowing people, so no one can really escape. And any armor the enemy builds, or just Graves trying to stack his like grip passive, it's just going to like ignore it. So it's just really helpful to have an arm pen item like that. Got Prowler's Vein here. She exhausts me, but it doesn't really matter. Another benefit of Prowler's Claw. Dragon is spawning, but in this time, we're just going to push mid lane. Silas is also pushing top lane. The enemies have to, like, recall here. But they can't defend it to begin with. Unless we make a mistake. And being that it's my games, a mistake may have happened here. WRQ on the Fizz. Right now we have to get out. So I just leave my... I try and go for the save, but then I realize, like, okay, this is not a good idea. And I just dip. I'm not staying here. Hell no. I even pinged the Kha'Zix too. This Vayne really wanted me. And, you know, you gotta be careful what you wish for, because sometimes these things can backfire. The auto W, I time it just right as she like buffers the condemn. And I go for the one shot. We can't contest this, unfortunately. So they do get out another dragon. We got our dragon game this game. But that's not really... How do I say it? Like... Our, like, the way we played off, like, trying to, like, defend dragons and stuff just was not good this game. Like, we never played for it. Now, there is, like, one thing I could have done better, like that mid lane, like, part in the game, but other than that. Or maybe I should just, like, try and play there, like, make sure to ping it more often. Because dragons matter as well, especially in higher elo. I think in any elo, like, if you get a soul, you're statistically winning more games. So it's always in your best interest to play for them. We still have Baron, so we are going to use the remaining portion of Baron. I did like ping my team to come over here because there's nothing else to do here. Like, why would I use Baron mid or top? The enemies can just defend it. Instead, we can like force these like these normal minions to push in. The enemies have to focus over here, here, and then we can divide all our attention to this lane. The enemies can't really defend it that well. But at this point, my bot lane makes a mistake. Overextend a little bit too hard. Rest of my team ends up going a bit too deep as well. Graves just nuking everyone. In this moment, we have to leave. But I do feel like I can outplay, so I actually go for the EQW here. Try and parallel Graves, end up dying. And then Graves gets a quadra. My Kha'Zix tilted really hard after this, which is, you know, understandable because I don't know what we were thinking here, trying to dive under the tower and stuff. But it's fine. Like, there's no reason to tilt an Asp to FF. Like, it's fine. A mistake can happen. Fortunately, because we already took 2 inhibs. And we still have, like, enough ways to kill, like, a Vayne and whatnot, and Graves. We have to play it smart, though. We can't really afford to die anymore because these extra gold and XP the enemies are getting is going to fast track them to level 18 and finish off their item build. So we have to be very careful here. Buy my Sheraldas now, so I'm pretty stacked. Last item, I think I was aiming towards a Cleaver. I think it was Cleaver. It could be anything with health, really. I could have went a Deadman's, I could have went Cleaver, Gargoyle. Like, any defensive item last is pretty good, but I do think I was opting for the Cleaver here to finish off my AD build. Kha'Zix tries to fight about me. I am trying to run up in this stage. So it's important just to be with your team here. I'm always gonna focus Vayne because she's the threat. I'll kill Vayne. I think I could have went in on the Samira though. But it's fine. Graves is the only target left, but I have actually I don't really have anything up. Never mind. But we can go for the end. It's 2v4 here. Big for that team. They cannot defend this. I'm gonna focus Graves here too. As soon as he walks close enough, I'm gonna try and like go in. He flashes. Just get the kill. But in this time, I'm not gonna fall for any like bullshit. I'm just gonna focus on Nexus while they're trying to kill my team. Killed the Graves to finish off, and we end the game. So yeah, it was a... I don't want to call it a stomp, because it was a pretty competitive game, even like with 20 kills, which is pretty absurd. I don't really get that many kills often anymore. But back in the day, I'd always get like 20 kills and stuff. But yeah, I think I played very well. I think I learned from last game's mistakes I made too, where I was like overcommitting too hard and being greedy. Now, there was a couple things that I was doing wrong, which punished me. Like trying to save the minion wave early on. Find that Vayne topside. Pushing in an extra wave, which maybe lost us Dragon. Like, there's things I could still improve on, but it was practically a pretty good game, with all things considered. So yeah, Samira matchup, it's pretty free. Just get level 3 and you're good. It's kind of like any other matchup. So yeah, hopefully you guys learned from this game, if you did. I was debating if I should record this game, but I don't think it's too bad. But that's for you guys to decide in the comments. I think I am going to lower the output of these type of videos too. So you're not going to see so many replay analysis like videos. I do want to like switch up my content. And I don't want to like kind of have my channel to be this type of content only, you know. I do want to have variety of things. So yeah. But I think I upload this today on a Saturday, and in the next few days I'm not going to upload. I'm just going to focus on making my itemization guide for you guys. So definitely be on the watch for that. Coming out very soon, hopefully by Wednesday next week, maybe a little bit earlier if I can power it all out. But yeah, that is practically the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like. If you didn't, dislike. If there's anything you want me to do or anything like to cover, leave in the comments below. If you like my content even more, give it a sub. You know, would do a lot of help. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.